Have you ever heard of Hippocrates? Not the famous doctor known as the father of medicine, but another Hippocrates, Hippocrates of Chios. He was not a physician, but a mathematician, a man whose genius shaped geometry long before Euclid, yet whose name history almost erased. This is the forgotten story of a merchant who lost everything, only to become one of the earliest visionaries of mathematics. In the 5th century BCE, on the island of Chios in ancient Greece, Hippocrates lived not as a scholar, but as a merchant. He sailed ships across the Aegean Sea, trading goods from port to port. His life was comfortable, filled with opportunities for wealth. But fate had other plans. Ancient writers tell us that during one of his voyages, Hippocrates was deceived and robbed by dishonest traders. His fortune was gone, his business ruined. Most men would have sunk into despair, but Hippocrates chose a different path. Stripped of riches, he turned instead to knowledge. Mathematics became his new pursuit. He traded ships for scrolls, gold for geometry. And in this world of numbers, lines, and shapes, he found a treasure far greater than any he had lost. Hippocrates' most brilliant discovery came through something unusual: the geometry of lunes. A lune is a crescent-shaped figure formed by two arcs of circles. To most, it was just a simple curve, but Hippocrates saw something extraordinary. He proved that certain lunes could be transformed into squares of equal area, an astonishing link between curved shapes and straight lines. Why did this matter? Because at the time, Greek mathematicians were obsessed with one of the greatest puzzles in history: squaring the circle. They wanted to construct, using only a compass and straight edge, a square with the exact same area as a circle. Though this problem would later be proven impossible, Hippocrates made a breakthrough. For the first time, curves and straight edges could be compared with precision. His work on the lunes lit a torch that guided mathematicians for centuries. But Hippocrates wasn't finished. He is also believed to have written the first systematic textbook on geometry, known simply as Elements. Yes, before Euclid's legendary Elements, there was Hippocrates of Chios. Though his book is now lost, fragments of it survive in later writings. It organized geometry into logical steps, building theorem upon theorem. This method of structuring knowledge was so influential that many believe Euclid himself built upon Hippocrates' foundation. Imagine if Hippocrates' work had survived intact. The history of geometry might have carried his name as prominently as Euclid's. Yet today, Hippocrates is rarely mentioned, alongside giants like Pythagoras, Euclid, and Archimedes. Part of the reason is confusion. His name was often mistaken for that of the physician Hippocrates, overshadowing his contributions. And part of it is loss. His original writings vanished, leaving only echoes of his brilliance. But those echoes remind us of a man who turned personal tragedy into a triumph of the mind. So what is Hippocrates' legacy? It is the idea that geometry is not just about rigid lines, but also about the beauty of curves. It is the foundation of structured mathematical reasoning, and it is the lesson that true wealth is not found in possessions, but in knowledge that endures. His story is a reminder that greatness is not always celebrated in its time. Sometimes it lies quietly in history, waiting to be rediscovered. So the next time you hear the name Hippocrates, remember not just the doctor, but also the mathematician, the man from Chios who showed the world that even loss can lead to lasting legacy. If you enjoyed this journey into forgotten history, don't forget to like this video, share it with friends, and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring stories of the world's greatest minds. Because sometimes the most powerful stories are the ones almost lost to time.